Fantastic. Well, I'm going to come to my mat. I'm going to unmask for now, and then if some people join live, and I might just need to pause to do that real quick. But today's class is a vinyasa flow class. So what that means is that there's going to be a lot of swift movements, quick transitions. This is more of an intermediate class. So just being aware of that, listening to your own body in this process, because right, like you know your body so much better than I ever will, just like an indisputable fact here. So if I'm guiding you into anything that doesn't feel right for you, then please feel free to modify and adjust as needed. A lot of the cues that I offer are to bring the body into alignment in a general way, but each of our bodies are made differently. So your pose might look a little bit different than my pose, and that's cool too. So just beginning to land in your space, making sure if you need to move anything around, if there's any furniture around you, and then grabbing. If you have a yoga mat, awesome. If not, that's cool, because yoga was done for thousands of years before yoga mats were invented. So if you're even on a carpet or a blanket, that will work well also. I have blocks that I'm using like to sit on, and I will demonstrate a few poses today with blocks as a support. So if you have those, you can grab them. But if you don't have those, you know, I've used things like tissue boxes or pillows or books, you know, anything that will just help to lift the earth to you. And I also have a blanket, which is just, I really, honestly, I just like it for Shavasana. I feel like it helps me relax a little, just that much more, and acknowledging that the more you are relaxed in your Shavasana, the more your body will be able to integrate your practice into your body, right? It's this process, like taking the time to slow down so your body has the opportunity to take in all the other work you've done on the mat today. Wonderful. So finding your comfortable seated position. I like to lift the hips above the knees a little bit because it takes the pressure off of the knees. It also makes it easier to sit up tall and to lift through the crown of the head. So my muscles don't have to do as much work to sit up nice and straight. Lifting through the crown, softening the shoulders, making sure that you're muted on your computer or device, wherever you're streaming this on. When you're ready, allowing those eyes to soften or close, making sure that the head is over the heart is over the center. Committed to being in alignment in this practice today. Knowing that when we do this, the energy of our body can flow freely, making it easier to move confidently in the world and to process things as they happen to us. Bringing your awareness to the breath and deepening that inhale and extending that exhale until it is twice as long as the inhale. Signaling to the parasympathetic nervous system, you are in a safe space. You can turn off all the parts of the body that are on guard so that you can fully relax into this present moment. And as you're connecting to your breath and deepening it, beginning to focus on 3 things that you're thankful for in your life. Beginning this yoga practice today with the practice of the thankfulness. Acknowledging that when we are in the moment and appreciative of what we have, we are more present. We embody that moment more fully, receiving more gifts from it. Being here, continuing to deepen that inhale and elongate that exhale. And as you do this, layering on an ujjayi breath where you restrict the back of the throat to create a hissing sound on both that inhale and exhale, almost as though you are trying to fog up a mirror with your breath or to see your breath on a cold day. Knowing that you can make that hissing sound louder the more you restrict that breath. Making sure that you're not getting lightheaded here, letting there be a mood of inquiry and exploration. Knowing that this ujjayi breath is a tool for delving deeper into the self, becoming more self-aware, thus making it easier to notice the things that you are thankful for in this life. Inhale to return to center, allowing those eyes to flutter back open, welcoming the space around you, the lights, the sounds, and then inhaling, opening up your arms side to side, hands lift to the sky, gaze follows. As you exhale, slide the hands down to heart center. Inhale to come out and up. Exhale to return to home, chin to chest. Taking a few more of these movements, just beginning to marry the breath and the movement. Doing it slowly and with intention so that as we build heat and move quicker in our practice today, you have established a strong connection and foundation. The next time the hands come to heart center, interlace those fingers, and on an exhale, press the palms out. Inhale to then lift the hands to the sky, and exhale to break free, coming into cactus arms, elbows at 90-degree angles. Inhale, hands to center to interlace those fingers. Exhale to press those palms out. Inhale to lift. And exhale to break free. Continuing this once again with your own timing, your own divine wisdom and intuition. Being thankful for this self-awareness that you are offering yourself here on the mat today. The next time the hands come to heart center, if you are on a prop or a block, you can just scooch that out of the way. And then bring one hand to the earth and lift the other arm up and overhead here, coming into a side stretch. Now, option to pause here to stay static. We'll begin to make some arm circles. Opening up and rounding that shoulder forward. Acknowledging that this is a safe space for sighs, moans, groans. Whatever you're experiencing that has an auditory connection, let it out. We so regularly live our lives where we're keeping everything in and letting the space be authentic and letting those things free. Reverse, go in the opposite direction. Opening up that heart space and then inhaling to return all the way back through to center, lifting through the crown before exhaling, coming to the other side for that side stretch. Once again, invitation to try circling the arm Acknowledging that the sensation will feel different on each side of the body. As you're ready, you can reverse for the opposite direction here. Inhale to bring you back through to center in a seated position of head over heart, heart over pelvis. And using an exhale twist, hand comes to the opposite knee and the other hand floats back and behind, pressing into the earth like a kickstand to help you lift and rise to the crown of the head before using an exhale to turn and look out past that back shoulder. Pausing here for 3 breaths, using each inhale to lift and lengthen to the crown, and each exhale to see if you can twist just a little bit further. Inhale to return to center, and exhale, journeying to the other side of the body. All the same cues, and using that exhale to turn your head. Inhale to return to center once again, this time bringing the soles of the feet in front of you and taking the opportunity to give the feet a little rub. Our feet are what ground us, that connect us to Mother Earth, and just thanking them for that, giving the feet a little of our awareness and love. I don't know about you, but I don't often think of my feet as I'm walking around or running around or tending to my children or my business or my house. So cultivating these moments of appreciation and thanks. You know what? Let's even thank our feet. Thank you, feet, for all that you do. Toes. I don't know what I'd do without you. All right. Bring those feet all the way to touch now, and then interlacing the fingers, wrapping them around the toes, and pulling those thighs down close to the earth as you lift through the crown, a nice flat back from the tip of the tailbone all the way to the spine. Shoulders are relaxed and melted down the back body. Taking 2 more breaths here, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Rising back up through the crown and then coming forward onto hands and knees here. Hands are stacked under elbows, knees are stacked under hips, and a nice flat back. From this point of integrity in your tabletop pose, inhale, open up the heart, drop the belly down, lift the crown of the head. Exhale, round the shoulders, tuck that belly button up towards the sky, and allow the crown of the head to drop down. Inhale to open everything. Exhale to round it all. Continuing with your own breath, your own divine wisdom, and taking a moment to appreciate, find thanks and gratitude for this balancing gesture, right? This yin and yang, the light, the dark, the radiating out into the world, and then returning back home to center. Inhale to return to that nice flat back. Bring the left hand right under the face, and then inhale, lift that right hand up towards the sky. Exhale, lower that hand down to the earth, replacing the left hand with the right hand, and then lifting the left hand to the sky. Walking the hands towards the front edge of the mat now and making some hip circles. They could be big or small, but really letting these movements nourish the body, nourish your soul. Reverse, go in the opposite direction now. You find any points that are sticking, maybe speaking to you a little bit, kind of rock back and forth in those areas, or using an inhale, bringing your awareness to that space, and with the exhale, releasing any tension that may be lingering there. Return the hips to center, and then exhale, melting back into child's pose. Acknowledging that you are closing out the warm-up portion of your practice and taking the time to check in with the self. What's shifted since you first came to the mat today? Inhale to rise back up to that tabletop position. Inhale the right leg straight out and back. And then exhale, bend that knee, stepping it all the way up and through between those hands. Curling those left toes under and then stepping up into a forward fold. Allowing yourself to hang here for just a minute. Adjusting to a different position and preparing to stand. You can walk the hands side to side on the mat, or opposite hands be clasping opposite elbows. If the hands are clasping the elbows, you can release that and then slowly rolling up to a standing position, imagining that you're stacking one vertebrae at a time, and that the head will be the last thing to come all the way up to that standing position. Coming to the top of the mat, nice and tall in mountain pose. Letting our mountain pose be the foundation for all of our standing poses today. Feet hip width distance apart, slight micro bend in the knees, thighs active and engaged like they're pulling towards each other, pelvis tilted slightly forward, lifting evenly through the front and back body as the crown lifts towards the sky, shoulders mounting down, hands coming to either side, standing tall. Inhale, lifting the hands up towards the sky. Gaze follows. Exhale to dive down towards the toes, hinging from the hips. Firmly plant those hands to the mat, taking a big step back with the right foot, dropping that knee down to the earth and coming into a runner's lunge. It can be helpful to have blocks here, to have some length in the spine through the crown of the head. Taking a nice deep breath here. Exhale, bringing those hands all the way to the earth, stepping that left foot back to meet the right, and slowly lowering yourself down to the mat. Bringing the elbows under the shoulders and rising tall into Sphinx. Pressing into those elbows, those forearms, the pelvis and the legs as you lift through the crown of the head, gaze straight ahead, opening up that heart space. And then exhale, curling the toes under and pressing yourself up and back. Hips rise to the sky, downward facing dog. Bending those knees if you need to get a nice flat back from the tip of the tailbone all the way through the crown of the head. Neck and head in line with the arms. Inhale, lift that right foot to the sky, and then exhale, step it all the way up and through, dropping that left knee to the ground. Runner's lunge now on the other side of the body. Option to have those blocks handy, front knee stacked under front ankle. Big deep breath here. Moving those blocks out of the way, placing those hands firmly on the earth, curling the left toes under, stepping that left foot up and back to meet the right, coming into a forward fold, and then bending those knees, arms out side to side, lifting tall to the sky till the palms touch. Exhale, sliding the hands down to heart center. Pausing here, taking a deep breath in through the nose, out through the nose. So we're going to do that whole same flow again, and I'm going to modify the poses. So you can always go back to what we just did, like with your knee down or Sphinx pose, like knowing that you have options if you're feeling unsteady as we move through this flow again, right? You're the yogi, yogi's choice. All right. Inhale, lift your eyes to the sky, palms touching, gaze upward. Exhale to melt it all the way down to the earth. Inhale up to a flat back, hands to knees. Exhale to return down to the earth. Stepping back with the left leg here. So you can either drop that knee down to the ground or keep it lifted up, your choice. Front knee over front ankle. Option here for your blocks, lifting from the tip of the tailbone all the way through the crown of the head for a nice flat back. Exhale, hands to the earth, stepping the right foot back to meet the left, coming into plank. Exhale to slowly lower yourself to the earth, keeping those elbows tucked into the body. And then inhale, lifting up either into Sphinx or Cobra. Breathing deep here. And then exhale to melt it all down to the earth. Tucking the toes under, lifting the hips up and back, downward facing dog. I'm gonna pause here for 3 breaths, remembering bending the knees if you need to help you find that length in the spine. Inhale to lift that left foot up to the sky. Exhale, bend that knee, stepping it all the way up and through runner's lunge. Front knee stacked over front ankle. Knee can be lifted or to the earth. Inhale to firmly plant those hands to the earth. Bounce off that back foot to bring it up to meet the front foot. Inhale, lifting to flat back, hands to knees. Exhale to go all the way down to the earth. Inhale, bend those knees, arms out side to side, lift to rise high. Exhale, slide the hands down to heart center. Pausing here, allowing the eyes to soften or close as you take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Inhale, lift and rise, arms out side to side. Exhale, hinging forward from the hips to dive all the way forward. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift, hands to knees, or extend those arms straight out, back and behind you. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale, stepping that left or right foot back, coming into runner's lunge with that knee up off the ground. And then firmly planting the palms, stepping back into plank. Big breath in. Exhale, begin to lower down to the ground and coming up into upward facing dog. Tops of the feet flat on the earth here, pressing into those hands. Heart open, gaze up. Exhale, curl those toes under, press those hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Take a moment here to pedal those feet out, taking 3 deep breaths. Inhale to lift that right leg up to the sky. Exhale, bend that knee, step it all the way up and through. Runner's lunge, opposite side of the body. Firmly planting those hands, stepping that back foot up to meet the front foot. Inhaling up to a flat back. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale to bend those knees, arms come out side to side, lift to the sky. Exhale to slide the hands down to heart center. Eyes soften or close for one breath cycle here. Inhale, coming back to the space, lifting high to the sky. Exhale to dive forward. Inhaling up to a halfway lift. Exhale to dive back down. Inhale, stepping back with that left foot coming into your runner's lunge of your choice. Option here to even lift to the sky. Exhale, floating those palms to the earth, stepping back into plank. Taking a big deep breath in here. Exhale, slowly lowering towards the earth, coming up to upward facing dog. Curling those toes under and on an exhale, lifting those hips up and back. Option to pedal the feet out. Find some stillness for 3 breaths here. Inhale, lift that left foot up to the sky, and then exhale, bring it all the way up and through. Firmly planting that left foot to the earth. Option to stay here or lifting those hands to the sky. Use your next exhale to firmly plant those hands. Step that back foot up to meet the front foot. Lifting to a flat back. Exhale, returning to those toes, and then inhale, bend the knees, open the heart up, hands out side to side, palms to touch. Exhale the hands to heart center. This time bringing a hand to the belly, a hand to the heart, and allowing the eyes to soften or close here. Reflecting on all the benefits, all that you are thankful for in your sun salutation practice. Inhale to return to center, allowing the eyes to open back up. This time bringing the hands to the hips. And we're going to prepare for some balancing poses. So that same mountain pose, dropping right back into that gesture here, that memory, muscle memory, if you will, of what it is to firmly connect to the earth and rise tall through the crown, finding your strength here. And then pivoting the weight onto the left foot. So that same mountain pose with all of that energy and intention placed on that left foot as you bring that right knee out to the side and bring it to press onto the ankle, the calf, or you can assist that foot all the way up into the inner thigh, finding a focal point straight in front of you to help give you balance, and then choosing where you'd like your hands. They could be on the hips or heart center or lifting to the sky. But wherever you are with those hands, firmly rooting down to the earth while melting those shoulders down the back body. 2 more breaths. On your next exhale, bringing those hands back down, releasing that foot and setting up for the other side. So that same intention now firmly rooting through the right foot, all 4 corners of that foot firmly connected to the earth. From here, lifting through the crown of the head, bringing that left leg out to the side, and choosing where you would like your tree pose to be on this side. Just because you did it on one side to start doesn't necessarily mean that's will be right on this side of the body. And then finding your center here. Grounding down into the present moment through gratitude and thankfulness. Appreciating this time that you are cultivating for yourself here by coming to the mat. On the next exhale, releasing that foot and returning to that mountaintop pose. Next, lifting that right foot up off the earth and crossing it over the left leg. So once again, firmly rooting through that left foot. Hands come to heart center. And then exhale, slide those hips back and down. Breathing deep here. Keeping that nice flat back from the tip of the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. And using the exhale to soften any rigidity in the body. Inhale, lifting back up through the crown, hands up to the sky as you unravel that leg and everything floats back down. Preparing for the opposite side now, so firmly rooting down through that right foot as you lift the left foot, crossing it over that right thigh. Almost making like number 4 with the legs here. Inhaling the hands to heart center and then exhaling, melt those hips back and down. acknowledging that it may be helpful for you to stabilize yourself on a wall or a chair, or to once again find that drishti or focal point, either on the earth right in front of you, or maybe straight ahead on the wall. Breathing deep. Inhale to lift those hands to the sky. And exhale to unravel everything, melting it down to the earth here. Coming to face the front edge of your mat if you're not already. Inhaling to lift those hands up to the sky. Exhale to forward fold all the way down to the earth. Hands connected to the earth as you inhale, take a big step back with that right foot, and then pivot on that foot, bringing it to a 45 or 90-degree angle. From here, windmill the arms up, shoulder height, square to the long edge of the mat. Front knee is stacked over front ankle, slight micro bend in that back leg, and then bring the gaze forward as you lift the front palm towards the sky. Warrior two. Feeling that connection in the core and that same lift to the crown of the head as though you are in mountain pose, just in the torso. Inhale, lift that hand towards the sky. Allow the back hand to come to the back leg. Breathing deep. Once again, practicing gratitude for your body and all of the amazing things it does every day. Big breath in. Exhale, return to warrior two. Straighten out that front leg. And exhale, begin to slide just the torso forward. As though you're trying to reach something just out of your grasp. Once you've gone as far as you can, while staying connected to the core and keeping that nice straight spine, pivot those arms coming into triangle. One hand into the inner thigh or inner leg, while the other hand lifts to the sky, or you can create a bind by wrapping that arm, tucking it around the body and into that front leg thigh. Gaze can be lifted up to the sky, straight ahead or towards the earth. Whatever you choose, make sure you're keeping that connection to the breath, both in and out of the nose. Inhale, wherever you are, begin to unravel. If that front hand is up towards the sky, bring it down to that bottom hand. Take about a half step up with that back leg coming into pyramid. We'll have a little flow here. Inhale, opening that hand to the sky. Exhale to bring it back down. Moving with your own breath and your own divine timing. The next time you exhale, this time pinwheel both hands down into the front of the mat, framing that front foot, and then stepping that front foot to come and meet the back foot coming into plank. Pausing here for 3 breaths, finding your strength and your power in this pose, keeping that belly button tucked up and in, hands stacked under the shoulders. Inhale to lift that right foot up, and then exhale, then stepping it all the way through, having both hands framing that foot as you then once again land that foot down, bringing it to a 45 or 90-degree angle. Front knee stacked over front ankle, and then inhale, pinwheel those arms up, square to the long edge of your mat. Finding that lift and length of the spine as though you are still in warrior pose. Rotating that front palm up and gazing forward. 3 breaths. Inhale, lift that front hand towards the sky while that back hand comes to rest on that back leg. Gaze straight up. Exhale, returning back to that warrior 2, straightening that front leg and beginning to slide the torso forward. Once you've made it as far as you can while maintaining the integrity of the spine, pivoting those arms, one to the inner thigh or inner leg and the other to the sky, or option to make it a bind by wrapping that arm around the back body and tucking those fingers into the inner thigh of that front leg. Inhale to unravel if you're in the bind. Exhale, bring that front hand down, or the hand in the sky down to meet that other palm. Step up about a quarter step, coming into pyramid pose. Inhale to lift that top hand back to the sky. Exhale to bring that hand back down to its mate. Continuing with your own breath, your own divine timing. And then on the next exhale, windmilling both hands to the earth, stepping the front foot back to meet the right foot, melting the knees down, and coming into a child's pose of your choosing for 3 breaths. Inhale to press the hands into the earth and lift yourself up to a seated position. Once again, lifting tall through the crown. Inhale to bring the palms in front of you at shoulder height. Exhale to rotate those palms out, float them out back behind the body. Interlace the fingers and pulling the hands back and down, opening up the heart. Gaze lifted to the sky. And then exhale, hinge forward from the hips, melting the torso over the thighs until the forehead comes to the earth, or you can place a block there to raise the earth to you. Lifting those arms up as far as they're willing to go today. On the next inhale, activate those core muscles and begin to lift back up with a nice flat back. Fingers still entwined. And once you are back up to a seated position, releasing the hands and letting them float forward to the thighs. Taking a moment to pause here. Coming onto the sides of your hips, pivoting the feet in front of you. Soles of the feet flat on the earth. And then melting yourself down to the mat, making sure that you can just brush the heels of the foot with your middle finger. And so like what I mean by that is that you can't even reach your heels with like your pointer finger or your ring finger, you can just touch them with that middle finger. We're going to prepare for bridge pose. So inhale, press into those feet, into the shoulders, the arms, lift the hips towards the sky. Going as far as you choose, knowing that you could make this a restorative pose if you want by placing a block underneath you. You can roll the shoulders under, interlace those fingers and press into those arms and hands also. Or you can come into a full bridge, choosing whatever it is that's going to nourish you right now, being so in the present moment that you are interdependent with your thoughts. You know exactly what you need right now. You know how to nourish and sustain your physical body. One last big breath in, and then exhale. Slowly melt the hips back down to the earth. Walk the feet to be the width of the mat, and then allow the knees to fall in towards each other, making a little triangle with the legs. Palms can be rotated up towards the earth, and the eyes can soften and close if you wish. Then bringing those knees apart and windshield wipering the legs side to side here. Getting a nice massage on the tush as you do so. Bringing those knees back to center and hugging the knees into chest here. Once again, rocking side to side and massaging that low back. Option here, if you'd like, just in the sake of self-love, you can give each knee a little kiss, or you can blow them kisses, whatever floats your boat. Allow the knees to fall to one side, coming to the earth. Making sure those shoulders stay firmly rooted. If you do this and your shoulders start to float up off the ground, try placing something under those knees to support them so that those shoulders can stay rooted. Then extending the arms out, either straight out side to side. If you're running into a space issue like I am, because I'm too close to the wall, you can bend at the elbows and come into cactus arms. And then lastly, turning the gaze to look in the opposite direction of the knees. Acknowledging that supine twists are fantastic for releasing. If there's anything that's stopping you from your journey of gratitude and thankfulness, now is your time to release it. Inhale to bring those knees through to center, gaze to center. Exhale to the other side of your twist. Allowing those eyes to soften and close. Preparing for your Shavasana. Inhale to bring those knees back up to the sky, gaze to the sky. And then extending both legs straight out. If there's anything you'd like to do here to add a blanket on top of you or blanket underneath you, add a layer as you cool down swiftly at the end of your practice here, acknowledging that the more time you take to set up here and relax fully, the more your body will be able to integrate your practice. Palms come to rest on either side of the body, face up. And allow each exhale you take here to relax the body just a little bit more, fully receiving the gifts of your practice in this time. Begin to wiggle those fingers and toes if you'd like. An option here to finish your Shavasana as it is, or to roll onto the right side of the body in a fetal position. Using that right arm as a pillow, bringing the organs into alignment as you close out your practice today. And then whenever you're ready, with all of the gentility and grace that you can muster, making your way up to a comfortable seated position. We'll close out our practice today with 3 Oms. Bringing the hands to heart center, taking a nice deep breath in. My wish for you on this day and every day that follows is peace of body, peace of heart, and peace of mind. Namaste.